Unlike my social life, it's actually possible to bring back dead languages. The most famous example of this occurring is the restoration of Hebrew, as it went from being a liturgical-only language to one spoken by millions of people. These days, really only minority languages are revived, such as Manx, Cornish, and Livonian, and a similar process occurs with moribund languages. However, this video is not about those languages. This video is about extinct historical languages that should be revived but aren't being revived. Before we get started, special thanks to my first patron, Agma Schwa, also known as Nga. If you like my videos, please consider supporting me on Patreon. First up is Sumerian. For being the first known language to invent writing, it's a shame that only like 4 nerds in Oxford and 1 in Florida know Sumerian. I think it makes sense to revive the oldest attested language. I have still yet to receive any complaints on a clay tablet, which is a shame. Sumerian is a language isolate that formed a Sprachbund with Akkadian, the earliest attested Semitic language. One of the coolest features of Sumerian is how it switches between functioning as nominative accusative and functioning as ergative absolutive, depending on person and mood, thus categorizing it as a split ergative language, on top of being agglutinative and subject-object-verb, just like Japanese. As well, the presumed phonology of Emiliel, literally native language, is neat too. And of course, we can't just skip over the sheer amazingness of cuneiform. Sumerian is past the "this is stupidly complicated" line, but its historical significance definitely makes it a good candidate for revival. Some of you may be thinking, though, but Connor, nobody needs to learn Sumerian. There's no practical modern use. It's been extinct for over 2,000 years. Well, Jimmy, I'm sick of the digital age. I want to send clay tablets instead of emails again. Don't you? Next is the Ainu languages, or 2 of the 3 Ainu dialects. Ainu is either a single language isolate with divergent dialects, or an isolated language family with 3 languages, depending on who you ask. I'm in the language family camp. Of the 3, only one is still around, Hokkaido Ainu. Sakhalin Ainu went extinct in 1994, and Kuril Ainu in 1962. The Ainu historically covered much of northern Japan around the Sea of Okhotsk, on Hokkaido, Sakhalin, and the Kuril Islands, as well as the northern parts of Honshu, although this ended centuries ago. However, after the defeat of Japan in the Second World War and the subsequent abolishment of Karafuto Prefecture, the Ainu of Sakhalin and the Kuril Islands were repatriated to Hokkaido. The Ainu of Japan have not been treated well in the past. Forced assimilation has left only a few native speakers of Hokkaido Ainu, although revival efforts are already in place. But this neglects Sakhalin and Kuril Ainu. Sakhalin Ainu has had more time to diverge and also had significant contact and borrowing from Nivk, which historically occupied the northern half of Sakhalin. Kuril Ainu is much closer related to Hokkaido Ainu, but unfortunately is very poorly attested. Thus, the restoration of Kuril Ainu would be significantly more difficult and likely impossible compared to Sakhalin and Hokkaido Ainu. I've always been a big fan of Ainu and the recognition of minority languages in developed nations in general. That's why I think Ainu should be revived. It deserves better than it has now. Last in this video is Etruscan. Etruscan is super cool. Its classification has been up for debate, but it's usually considered either to be just an unidentified pre-Indo-European language like our buddy Basque, or a fancy Tersenian language, made up of Etruscan, Rhaetic, Lemnic, and sometimes Communic. This is cool, but Etruscan is most significant for its contributions to Western society. The Etruscan people and culture dominated Western Italy in the time of the early Roman kingdom, and were still around until the Roman Empire. The Roman alphabet, pantheon, and other significant aspects of their military and social structure were heavily influenced by the Etruscans. But why should Etruscan be revived? Well, for one, the alphabet is super cool. Sometimes it was even written in Boustrophedon as well. Etruscan does a good job of being both agglutinative and having complex, but not too complex grammar. There were 5 noun cases with nouns and verbs showing inflection. It also had a simple singular plural distinction and a lack of grammatical gender for non-pronouns. Etruscan grammar is both spicy and also very much learnable. Unfortunately, Etruscan vocabulary is very poorly understood. We don't know what most Etruscan words mean. Thus, no revival efforts can begin until more research is done. Until then, unfortunately, Etruscan falls into the category of languages we should revive but can't. Thank you for watching. I'm considering making this into a mini-series. More videos, if I don't scrap them, are coming soon.